hope you'll bear with me on this episode. I do believe I may have the black lung. You know, I thought I knew the story, and I think you know the story. I thought I knew, and I'm betting you thought you knew the story of the Don Russ rated rookie. Breaks on the scene 1984, 20 prospects, 20 player subset, 20 players picked by New York Daily News sports columnist Bill Madden. Here's a look at that 1984 Don Russ logo. I've got Tony Fernandez up on the screen. Real solid shortstop. Good glove, pretty darn good hitter. There's that logo, the banner across the bottom, complementing that now iconic 84 Don Russ set design. Pretty good first class. Joe Carter, the superstar, but Tony Fernandez also held his own. Who else was in that? Greg Gagne, Twins infielder. We got Kevin McReynolds, Mets and Padres outfielder. We've got Ron Darling, Sid Fernandez. Pretty good first go around. First card on the rated rookie list was card 27. White Sox backup catcher Joel Skinner. 1985, they changed the logo to that now iconic design. Everyone knows it's actually the inspiration of the Rated Rabbis logo. Blue, rated above the word rookie. 85, perhaps the worst of the Rated Rookie series. The highlight was maybe Sean Dunston, maybe Danny Tartable. Not much else to write about. 86 has our first Hall of Famer, Fred McGriff, and the most iconic rated rookie of that year, of course, is not McGriff, but Jose Canseco, who did not want that card for their collection. 87, I think, is the apex of 80s rated rookies. You've got Greg Maddux, Bo Jackson, Mark McGuire. Who else? Rafael Palmeiro. Man, Bo, McGuire, Palmeiro, Maddux, amazing. 88 gives us Robbie Alomar. 89, of course, has Junior as a rated rookie, as well as the amazing Randy Johnson. 90 on to 91. 1992, rated rookie who? Pat Mahomes. Pitcher Pat Mahomes, father of Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes, is a rated rookie. 1993, they go done mess with the perfect logo. They turn it into a missile pop. I got Chipper Jones up on the screen. His 1993 Don Russ rated rookie went with a missile pop red, white, and blue logo. Not good, but not as bad as what they did in 1994. Take a look. What have they done to my boy? They destroy it. It's an abomination, a toeva. They totally get rid of the rated rookie logo all the way. They get with some home plate with silver. It's too big for the card sizes A-Rods we're looking at on the screen. Get it out of here. I do not like. Of course, Panini takes over the Don Russ brand now. That rated rookie is seen in football. It's seen in basketball. But for me, the glory days, the halcyon age of the rated rookie is the 1980s. But there's more to the story than you were led to believe. Did you know that there was another before? Did you know there was a chapter before? Did you know that the rated rookie has a prequel? Welcome to the Rated Rabbi Sports Card Podcast, where sports cards and pop culture meet the 1984 All-Star Game. I am your host, Rabbi David Spinrad. Welcome to episode 75, Rated Rabbi Revels, reveals Rated Rookies' real root. But before we get on with the show, I wanted to talk about that all-time Deborah Winger Mail Day I had last week. If you didn't watch the special Deborah Winger Mail Day episode I made last Monday, last Tuesday, I want to tell you a little bit about it. I got myself the red one, 1933 Gaudi Babe Ruth card 149. The red one. Here it is up on the screen. It's gorgeous. SGC1, well-centered, beautiful, deep red color, right? You look at it, you look like, wow, there's the back, George Herman, Babe Ruth. I have a piece of Americana. I have a piece of pop art in my hands. I mean, this is on another level. This is real special. So I got it, and SGC1, I'd written to Greg Moore's cards, what's going on? They said, well, it's got heavy creasing. I couldn't see it. I called on a couple of card consiglieres to help me to get a better look at it. And, straight on, dead on to the eye, it looks gorgeous. And it is gorgeous. However, it definitely deserves that SGC1 score. I'm going to bring it up on the screen. I found a way to photograph this that actually shows this guy does have a real significant crease in it. There it is up on the screen. If not creases, just several very conspicuous wrinkles, I guess we'll call them. Top third of the card, top 40% of the card, all the way across horizontally, including right through his face. But you know what? You can only see them if you hold the card at just the right angle under a really bright direct light. And even then, it was hard to photograph this to show you, but I wanted to say that this absolutely deserves an SGC1. But boy, oh boy, when I hold this card and I look at it in pretty much any kind of light that I would ever look at a card, it is nothing less than gorgeous. I am so happy to have this. And to be honest, I couldn't afford a card with eye appeal like this if it didn't have some major flaw to disqualify it as its overall grade. I got a Babe Ruth card, man. Top half of the seventh inning. We're back from commercial. Up on the screen, that's Don Drysdale, of course, interviewing Darryl Strawberry. Pretty much of a cliche-filled interview, but I wanted to show you this picture for one image. Look at Straw's starter jacket. Look at his collar on his starter jacket. Homie's got his collar popped. If you came up in the 1980s, popping your collar was a thing. Kind of Ralph Macchio, kind of bad boy, kind of James Spader, Pretty in Pink. Kind of bad boy, but kind of like not the bad boy like, I was a nice kid. I'm a nice kid now. It's kind of like more like the preppy bad boy, like Johnny in Back to School. Same guy who played Johnny in Karate Kid. That that dude, whatever his name is, William something. Oh my God, Lisa Birnbach, author of the 1980s Preppy Handbook, now showing this to you, said popping the collar signifies the preppy look, right? Of course, I did a dive into the origins of the pop collar. Starts 1929, Rene Lacoste comes out of the tennis world. A little extra protection on the sun, but by the 80s, a preppy look, right? Think about, those guys, Sperry, Sperry topsiders, some kind of khaki pants, probably like a polo shirt tucked in and like a paisley yellow sweater like tied around the neck. Dude, come on, dude. Yeah. Yeah, those guys, man, popping your collar. Top half of the seventh, Mario Soto on the hill. Earl Weaver calls Soto the most complete pitcher in baseball. Think about that. For a time, Mario Soto, the most complete pitcher in baseball. 81 to 85, you could certainly make the argument. 1983, Mario Soto wins 17 games, throws 18 complete games, 2.70 ERA, comes in second place just behind John Denny in the NL Cy Young, makes the All-Star team, comes back 1984, the very game we're describing, the very appearance in which he's making, has another big year, wins 18 and has 13 complete games. For his career, he's a three-time All-Star, 82, 83, 84, a 25.7 WAR from 1977 to 1988. Taking over at third base for National League for Mike Schmidt, third baseman Montreal Expos Tim Wallach, and behind the plate taking over for the kid Gary Carter is this guy, catcher Jody Davis. Jody Davis has some success in the show, two-time All-Star, but I wanted to spend a little time on Jody Davis, not for Jody Davis, but because of the 1984 Cubs. That was just a very special team, right? They won their division. They made it to the playoffs for the first time since 1945, a 39-year drought. And because of my love and because I played countless hours of Stratomatic baseball when I was a boy, and because I played lots of those hours with the Chicago Cubs, I can still do this 40 years later. Catcher, Jody Davis. First baseman, this guy, Leon, the Bull Durham, showing you him on an 84, Don Russ. Second base, of course, Rhino, Ryan Sandberg. Third base, the Penguin, Ron Say. Shortstop, Larry Boa. In the outfield, from left to right, you've got Gary Matthews, Bob Dernier, and Keith Moreland. There must be something about my brain development at that age. I just like tap into it, and it's all right there waiting. Manager, of course, Jim Fry. General manager, Dallas Green, who came from Philadelphia and in coming over, somehow turned the Phillies organization into his own personal ATM. You might remember from an earlier episode how I talked about he acquired Ryan Sandberg for Ivan DeJesus. He actually got Sandberg and he got Boa for Ivan DeJesus before the season. March 28th, 1984, picks up Bob Dernier, picks up Gary Matthews, picks up 2/3 of his starting outfield from the Philadelphia ATMs. What else can I tell you about 1984? 1984 in June, there's that classic called the Sandberg game. They beat St. Louis 12-11. They come back from being down 7-1, 9-3, 11-9. Rhino hits home runs in the 9th and in the 10th. But the real moment I want to talk about occurred on June 13th, 2 weeks before the Sandberg game. June 13th, 1984. Dallas Green pulls off a mega trade, a big trade with the Cleveland Indians acquiring catcher Ron Hassey, pitcher George Frazier, and starting pitcher Rick Sutcliffe. I've got Rick Sutcliffe here in 1984. Topps traded. Look at that late summer full ivy behind him. Rick Sutcliffe going to Cleveland. They had to give up a lot. They gave up a prize prospect, that 84 rated rookie, Joe Carter. He was the big prize, but they also sent a few more players, including outfielder Mel Hall. Went from the Cubs to Cleveland. Sutcliffe was the NL Rookie of the Year in 1979. They had that run when it was like Sutcliffe and Fernando and Steve Sachs. The Dodgers had a bunch of Rookies of the Year back to back to back. Won 17 in 1979, but by 81, he was upset with Lasorda, right? He was going starting, relieving. They couldn't quite figure out what to do with them. And in a post game during the season, he goes into Lasorda's office. This guy is like a third-year player. He's a kid and flips over Lasorda's desk. Unsurprisingly, after the season, he gets dealt. Not only does he get traded from LA, he gets traded to Cleveland. Take that. But that's neither here nor there, because Rick Sutcliffe is now a member of the Chicago Cubs, and the Cubs are going for it. They're pushing their chips into the middle. They are playing for this year, and Sutcliffe is the one who takes them, well, at least to the NL East mountaintop. Starts 20 games for Chicago, and this is a number I will always remember. I just always know. Went 16-1. 16-1 for the Cubs. Will end up winning the NL Cy Young Award. 2.69 ERA, 1.07 WHIP, a 4-1 strikeout to walk ratio across 150 innings. 16-1, and I know that wins are not a determining fact nowadays, but you know what? Wins are still a super cool stat, because you know what they say? They say, you know what? We're trailing 3-2 after 5. You're going back out there. We believe you've got gas in the tank, and we're going to score some runs for you. What a thing when you have a horse, a guy who goes 7 innings, 8 innings, 9 innings. That was so good. I miss the days of workhorses when guys threw complete games, man. That's how you get the wins. You got to work deeper in the game and have an offense who can pick you up. Here's an 85 Fleer. This is a great checklist. This is the Chicago Cubs team card taken early in the season at Wrigley Field. Got the scoreboard behind him in the bleachers. I love this card. You know how I feel about these Fleer Superstar specials. I just think they're super cool. Chicago Cubs division champs. Few gave them a chance. The Chicago Cubs won the National League's Eastern Division in 84, the first time since 39 years that any Cubs team had won a title of any kind. Wow. Da, 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 da. Oh, that's great. The championship season was marked by many come-from-behind victories that were sparked by the clutch hitting of Sandberg, Davis, and Durham, and the inspirational player of their leader, outfielder, Gary Matthews. Remember the Sarge? I was super surprised they lost to the Padres. I thought the storybook set up for them to go to the World Series. I had it in my mind, no way, but the Padres defeated them. Was not meant to be. So, Joe Carter was the prize for Cleveland. But we're going to focus a little bit of attention on outfielder Mel Hall, who also went from the Cubs to the Indians. Mel Hall played 13 years in the big leagues, plus a couple years in Japan. 1983, as a matter of fact, he hit 17 home runs in 112 games. After Cleveland, spent several years as a starting outfielder with New York as a Yankee, went to Japan, came back for a partial season in 96 with the Giants. Mel Hall is currently incarcerated at the H.H. Caulfield unit in Texas. He will be eligible, earliest eligibility for parole is 2031. Unfortunately, Mel Hall was convicted in 2009 on 2 counts of sexual assault of minors. He actually turned out to be a real bad hombre. There's a lot written online about this guy. In fact, I will drop a very long article from, I forget who, 2014, Sports Nation, I think, did a several part article about Mel Hall. When he first was coming up, he was like eccentric. They criticized him as acting as if he had superstar behavior, although he was not a superstar. He was known to sleep with a lion cub. He had 2 baby pet lions. He slept with them, one on either side of his bed. Just kind of a kooky kind of guy. But then he got like weird. Then he got like weird. And he got in this real bad relationship with a minor. And I'm going to leave it to you to read the article about it. But let me just show you this, which will tell a lot about the story you're about to discover. Like I said, I'll drop it in the show notes. This is a picture of Mel Hall. This picture appeared in the New York Yankees 1991 team yearbook. What are you looking at? This is Mel Hall and his steady girlfriend. She's at the prom. Her face is blurred because she's a minor. Now, right about now, I hope you're asking yourself, why did the Yankees put a picture of Mel Hall at a high school prom with a minor in the yearbook? It's a good question. They refused to comment. Mel Hall, bad hombre, real, messed up and disturbed. I like to go in the nooks and crannies, but I can't do that to us right now. It just got a little too weird for me, Mel Hall. So why are we talking about Mel Hall? Why are we going to stop it right there? Well, remember what we talked about at the start of the episode? That I thought I knew the story. I think you know the story about rated rookies. They start in 1984. 85, the logo was born. Boom, Canseco. Boom, boom, Maddox, McGuire, Bo, Pat Mahomes, the elder. All of that was preceded before that 1984 Premier logo first group of rated rookies. There were others. In 1983, Donruss actually premiered the Rated Rookie Insert Series. 6 players. Steve Centeny pitched just in 11 games in 1982 for Toronto. Keith Creel, who went 5-14 from 82 to 87, Kansas City and Cleveland. You've heard of this next guy, Greg Brock. Dodgers, Brewers, 10 WAR across 10 seasons. Al Chambers, 83 to 85. Only played 57 games in the show. Brad the Animal Leslie, you've heard of him. Daniel Jacob Hareen, Pop Shop, did an episode or did a comic book of him. Brad the Animal Leslie, actually, he had some success. He was real animated, used to scream on the mound, played in the big leagues 82 to 85, actually became very popular and had a pretty decent career, not only as a ball player, but as a TV actor in Japan, married a Japanese woman. That's five. And the sixth and final of the original Donruss rated rookie. Here it is. 1983 Donruss. It is Chicago Cub outfielder Mel Hall. What you say? There's no Donruss rated rookie logo? That's right. This is the precursor. I'm going to flip it over. And what does it say? 1983 Donruss rated rookie. We have added a new chapter. We have lengthened the lore of the rated rookie. If you did not know it, now you do. Rated rookie, born not in 1984, but actually born 1983. The highlight is the lowlife Mel Hall, currently doing time in a Texas prison for sexual assault of a minor. Getting back to the action, Soto on the hill, Ricky Henderson leading off. Falls behind 0-2, comes back to work the count to 3 balls and 2 strikes, and then it's the most classic Ricky at-bat. 0-2, works the count full to 3-2, fouls off 1, fouls off 2, fouls off 3, fouls off 4. It's an incredible at-bat. The first batter Soto's facing, classic vintage Ricky, makes him get him out on the 10th pitch, a fly out to right field, bringing up George Brett. Swinging on the second pitch, his little blooper, shallow left, Raines coming in to make the catch, 2 away, bringing up catcher Jimmy Sundberg. Sundberg swings on the first pitch, hits it right at Tim Raines, 3 up and 3 down. Did you ever think we'd have an episode where we got through an entire half of inning? Episode 75 might be the first and only time we achieved that. End of 6.5. NL leading 2-1. What do we talk about today? Well, we talked about the origin story of the rated rookie. Introduce you to the rated rookie before the rated rookie. 1983 6-card insert set. Brad Leslie, Mel Hall. Talked about the babe. Showed you why it's an SGC1, and I am just fine with it. I am more than fine. I got my Ruth. Talked about pop collars briefly. Little Mario Soto, 84 Cubs. I can still name that whole lineup thanks to Stratomatic. Rick Sutcliffe, 16-1. Indelible and unforgettable NL Cy Young Award winner. Real good pitcher. 18 seasons in the show, 33.9 WAR. Real good. Won 171 games in his career. Then what else did we do? We did a little dive into the sad, weird story of Joe Carter. So sad and so weird that I'll put a link in the show notes. I think we're going to stop it right there. That's a good one. Hopefully I recover from this black lung in time for next week's episode. Until we meet again, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for liking. Thank you for subscribing. More importantly than that, thank you for telling a friend. Until we meet again, may you enjoy and may you be blessed with health and long life. So long for now.